this weekend, Saturday night, Saturday morning, depends on where you are in the world. Macau, Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China, Galaxy Arena in Macau, we get the pleasure of seeing the very end to Davison Figueiredo's career. And he will be fighting the person who will be the finish line for him, who will be the man to close the door on him, both the top five of Bantamweight and also his career. Song Yadong, Song the Kung Fu Kid Yadong, Chinese person, Chinese man fighting on a Chinese card, headlining it. What do you expect from this type of fight? We expect him to clean the plate. We expected that from Zhang Minyang in the last Chinese event. And of course, that did not work out because Johnny Walker had switched camps. He was now in cahoots with the guys at Extreme Couture, so he had a different game plan. He was playing it safe, not throwing his chin in the air or throwing things all willy-nilly, putting himself in the line of fire to easily get slept by Zhang Minyang. So it was disappointing for the Chinese crowd, so they want to right that wrong, and this time they have Song Yadong versus Davison Figueiredo, modern Davison Figueiredo, and that means he has this one huge glaring gaping hole in him, in his fight style nowadays, and it's the fact that his heart has shrunk. You know, moving up to bantamweight hasn't been easy as you would think, especially coming from those wars between him and Brandon Moreno, which eventually, how it ended was him suffering an eye injury in their last bout, whether it be a knuckle or an eye poke, whatever. It was considered a TKO, so it was legal. On paper, it was legal. So he removed himself, retired from flyweight, and moved to bantamweight and had some success. He had some decision wins and a submission win over Cody Garbrandt. But that doesn't really mean anything because he has title aspirations. So he had to fight the cream of the crop, the best of the best, the most high-end cattle of the bantamweight division. He had to face off against Peter Yanni. Thought he would storm right through him, stormed through the guy who was given a tough time by Song Yadong, but eventually in the later rounds, it was too much for him. Song Yadong gassed out, whatever. And how does Figgy do against Pyrion? He bullies him in the opening seconds. He takes him to the ground. He goes for the legs. He ends up getting over unders, and he goes for an inside trip. And it's looking to be a Davison Figueiredo masterclass. Maybe this guy can bully guys that are his size because he's just that much more skilled. But unfortunately, it does not play out like that. Eventually, he is being outclassed. It is the maestro Peter Yan giving him some extra after school lessons, and he just can't keep up. He's not digesting this information as it is coming to him, and it starts to become clear to him that he is in over his head. This division is not light work. He is not going to run through these guys. He is not going to be a champion. And that starts to weigh on him. And next is the Corey Sandhagen fight. In that fight, there's still a bit of juice in the tank. He goes at Corey Sandhagen, makes some stupid decisions on the ground, always going for the leg lock. And on the feet, of course, he's coming to find out that these upper echelon type of guys, like a Corey Sandhagen or a Sean O'Malley, they have length in their arms and their legs. So he can't compete with that frame. It's not that they're stronger with him, it's that they're probably as equally as strong. And also they have these advantages in different ways that they're built. He's not built like them. He's coming to find that out, and it totally wrecks him, especially when he's getting out grappled by him. He is making stupid mistakes and injuring himself on the ground, and then that on top of him being outclassed, the injury, being outclassed by two guys in the top five, it's over for him. His heart has shrunk tremendously. Not even the gimme fight or the easy layup between him and Montel Jackson in Brazil, his home country, Not even that could change the course of his career. He got a win, but it didn't do a whole lot for him. It was just a win. It's not really momentum changing, especially when your next opponent is Umar Nurmagomedov and he's fighting you at range and you don't want to fight him anymore. Your heart's not there because you injured your knee, you injured your eye, and you're just not good enough as these guys. They have physical attributes that you can't compete with, and also there's a bit of a skill gap, or maybe it's the speed, all these different things, and them just being more eager and hungry. That's the biggest point, that they're more hungry, more eager to get in there, whereas Figgy is totally just washed. He's afraid of putting himself in the fight. He's simply there to collect the check. Unfortunately, or fortunately for Yadong, Figueredo can come and collect the check in China, which is basically this place, this designation, or this location that is designed for the headliner, the Chinese headliner, to get the win, secure a win. It's the layup. It's the layup like the one in Brazil for Figgy, but this time it's for Yadong, and Figgy's the one being laid up. And the thing about Yadong, he doesn't need momentum. He's not a momentum fighter because he fights all too little. He fights basically annually. So there's no time for him to build up momentum. It's just whatever happens in the moment. There's always this hunger with him. He always goes out there to fight. That is true with every Song Yadong fight. And obviously, there are these matchups that work against him because maybe the fighter has a better gas tank. Maybe they're just more experienced. Yes, they have more mileage, but they know what to do with every mile that they take. And also physical attributes. There's still this size disadvantage for Song Yadong, but coming into this fight with Figgy, it's not the size that is going to make the difference. Biggest difference between these guys is just the amount of hunger, the amount of heart. And I imagine you'd have the most heart in you if you're fighting in front of your home crowd, basically. And this is a 7-year hiatus away from his home crowd. So if he's coming back to the homeland, he is coming back and he's going to perform. He's going to go out there and try to retire Figgy just like he wanted to do to Henry Cejudo, although that didn't work out because of the eye pokes. He wants to retire Figgy, and he can very much do that. The only problem that I could see for him is Figgy switching up the stances and being explosive here and there, but he's just not going to do that. He doesn't have the heart in him anymore. His heart has shrunk, just like the Grinch's heart. It has shrunk. And unfortunately, the only thing remaining from Diaz de Aguilera is that red hair streak. Nothing else. There is nothing else that he could assemble, put together for the audience members to believe for even a second that he is still that guy who was knocking guys out and submitting them. He just doesn't have it in this weight class. He doesn't have it in this weight class because he came after wars. He came after he had already spent his gas tank trying to have a career at flyweight. And he did have success there. He did have these accolades. He did build a whole lot for his legacy, but now the ship is sinking. And unfortunately, I believe this Saturday night morning, wherever you are in the country, the world, wherever, he is going to wilt. Against the cage, he will wilt. He will curl up into a ball. Maybe he'll try to go for a leg lock again, but he's going to be TKO'd. That's what I expect out of this fight. I don't expect Song Yadong to submit him or even knock him out. He has power. He has power that makes upper echelon guys respect him and put on snooze fest of fights because they have the range. So they'll fight at distance. But there isn't a range advantage. There isn't this elusiveness to Figgy. He doesn't have a better reaction time. He's aged, and he has not aged well. So that means it's perhaps the end of the road.